Hi guys, I'm Lion, the voice of marketing and your friend in all things marketing, brand building, and sometimes pop culture. Now, an organization that raises awareness against gender-based violence in South Africa, called Women for Change, is calling for a national shutdown on the 21st of November 2025, the day before the G20 summit is being held in South Africa. And they're saying that femicide and gender-based violence is a matter of national importance and national emergency. They are demanding that gender-based violence and femicide be declared a national disaster. And the stats are supporting this call for action, right? And here are some harrowing statistics to back up what they're saying. In just 1 year, 5,578 women were murdered. This is a 33.8% increase from the previous year. To contextualize this even further, South Africa's femicide rate is 6 times higher than the global average. If that does not scare you, I don't know what does. And so they are saying that on the 21st of November, women, members of the LGBTQIA plus community, and men who are in solidarity with women should change their profile picture to the color purple. You can find any shades of purple on Pinterest or wherever you like to. And for us to wear black and not participate in any economic activity, going to work, etc., to show how much women and members of the LGBTQIA plus community contribute to the world and this country working properly. They want to show that protecting women and children and members of the LGBTQIA plus community is also protecting economic growth and nurturing economic growth. That's why they're doing it during the G20, when world leaders are going to be in South Africa talking about matters of national importance and how we can grow world economies. This is something that we should all be participating in as South Africans because it impacts all of us. And I know a lot of people are skeptical about social media activism, but I want you to look at it as social media being a media tool that we're using to amplify our messages, not only locally, but to the world, right? We don't rely on the news and newspapers that are biased to certain sponsors and investors. And now we're saying, as the people, this is our collective voice. This is the country we want to see. These are our problems and challenges, and this is how we want to fix them. I'm also going to read what they wrote on their social media posts, just so that you get context of what's really happening. South Africa is facing one of the most violent and deadly gender-based violence epidemics in the world. We call on all women and members of the LGBTQIA plus community across South Africa to refrain from all paid and unpaid work in workplaces, universities, homes, and communities to demonstrate the economic and social impact of their absence. Because until South Africa stops burying a woman every 2.5 hours, the G20 cannot speak of growth and progress. We demand that gender-based violence and femicide be declared a national disaster, not tomorrow, not at another summit, now. Join the G20 Women's Shutdown. Withdraw your power on 21 November. Guys, do the right thing.
And that is just Lion sounding off on the Purple Profile movement. Kind of really just contextualizes and summarizes what is happening online at the moment. So we're going to sneak into the comment section and unpack what's on your thoughts, the frequently raised points, and what is it looking like at the moment? Is this going to build up all the way to the next weekend? Yeah. Okay, here's someone who's going to unpack it with me. It is Boitumelo Morobane, who is a founder of the Rise, the Phoenix Recreation Center, as well as GBV activist. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you doing, Boitumelo?
I'm very well, Moratu, and how are you?
All is well on my side as well. So, I personally don't know when this started sprouting out and becoming a thing. Have you been tracking this movement?
Yes, I have, beloved. I've been tracking this movement. This movement has been bubbling for the past 5 years, if not longer, because femicide and gender-based violence, the pandemic of gender-based violence and femicide has increased in number uh, of the women that are being killed since the past 5 years. It's become astronomical. So us women for change have been bubbling up this intention of shutting down South Africa for a while now. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited that we finally come to a place where we are ready to take the stand against femicide and gender-based violence.
I'm actually thinking of saying it. I want to say things the right way, so I'm also thinking about when something with good intentions and it is of the betterment of the community and South Africans take such big start online. How do we refrain from it diluting and becoming something else that it is not, and keeping it clean so that it can be able to achieve their intended impact?
Yeah, I understand how a lot of online bars can dilute a movement, and especially one that is as potent as this one. And but now these days, online has become more of an ally than not in terms of these kinds of movements, because what we want to do is we want to spread the word. We want to create more awareness than ever before, that even women that don't see themselves as activists can know that there's something that they can do just by changing your profile picture to the color purple, just by putting tools down on the 21st and not spending any money at any of these organizations. You will have made a change. And we would not have been able to reach as many people as we have if it wasn't making such a huge buzz online. But on the same note, it's a double-edged sword, because then anybody else can then add themselves to the plight, and then the movement becomes diluted. Then it's not about women and children anymore. Then it's about other groups of people that are also and we acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of struggle, a lot of violence against multiple different groups of people in South Africa. But we need to stay clear of what is the message that we're trying to portray. And the fact is, women and children are being killed by the hour, every hour. And the government and the government's allies have been mum about it. I mean, doing something like a month against gender-based violence, when women are being killed and women are being abused in their relationships and outside of their relationships every single day, we lose the plot. Yeah, so I hear what you're saying about how online can then create such a buzz that it dilutes. But in this case, it has been very powerful, because now even the lay woman and the lay
Boitumelo,
knows that they can do something. Yes, ma'am.
I had lost you there for a second. I was just concerned, but it's fine. It's fine. I think we got the gist of what you were trying to say. Okay, so where to then from here? Now that
From here
the
to
online platforms are buzzing, are we then waiting for the 21st to see if then people will then go from the profile picture to actually then taking that action that is required of them?
Yeah, we can only hope that people will really embrace this movement for what it is. But now, from where you asked where to from now, from here, we want to address policy. We want to be able to have the constitution, the government changed in regards to how femicide and gender-based violence is addressed in South Africa. We want the justice system to be accountable for all the cases that have gone unsolved of women and children being killed and being abused on a daily. We want real significant change. We want even industry to recognize that the women that are the highest grossing and the highest spending in their institutions, they need to understand that women are living in fear in the same South Africa. And institutions, businesses, corporate, they need to stand up and say no against gender-based violence, no against femicide. And that's when perhaps we'll start to see tangible change. Because, the abusers and the killers, they know that nothing is going to happen to them. They know that the justice system is very lax. They know that they'll still keep their jobs even when everybody knows that they are abusing their wives. They know that families will still support the abuser over the victim. So we need to really create a conscious change, create such a conscious movement that it is unignorable.
All right. And then are there going to be series of events leading up to the 21st, which is the weekend after next, that you know of?
Yes, absolutely. I know that there'll be a march on the 17th. We're going to be marching to Parliament. And we hope that with that, after we submit our memorandum, we hope that something then will be told to us before the G20 summit. Because the G20 summit is not useful to us women. It's not useful to the plight of women in South Africa. So we want to... There'll be a march on the 17th. I'm not too sure what's happening, but I know that there'll be something. There's lots of summits and lots of talks that are being held in different venues that are going to be released very soon. So we hope to get the support of each and every individual that lives in South Africa, whether it be a man or a woman, in support of women for change and in support for this movement.
Right, Boitumelo, thank you so much. So all that's been asked is for anybody or just activists and people that believe... Wait, see, there's a question I want to ask also. Amongst these purple profiles that we see online, there's also the perpetrators. So that's why I'm just like, yeah.
It seems very futile. The whole turned purple thing, it seems very futile and almost pointless, right? But I'm telling you that there's thousands of profiles, thousands of men and women that are in support and stand in solidarity for women for change and this movement that we are embarking on, because there's no turning back. Women have been crying about gender-based violence and femicide for years now, for years. And nobody has ever taken us seriously, because you know what? Even after a woman has been beaten by her lover or boyfriend or whoever, then she goes back to work because she has to provide for her children. And nobody cares because life goes on. So now we want for life to stop so that the whole system can recognize that without a woman, then there's really no movement. Without a woman spending her money to go buy at these shops, then there's no money coming into these shops. Without a woman waking up and going to go work so that she can provide for her children, then there'll be no movement in these corporate companies and so forth. So we want to really halt all the tools so that women can be seen for the pillars of society that we are.
Okay, Boitumelo, thank you so much for talking to us. And yes, I'm 100% behind the efforts, and I'm going to keep a closer eye on this movement.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, sweetheart, and thank you to your listeners.
All right. That is Boitumelo. And that was me also taking a pledge there as an individual to say we see what's happening. We are aware of the movement and the intention behind it. And yes, let's see what happens with the Purple Profile movement. It is Boitumelo Morobane, who is founder of Rise the Phoenix Recreation Center, and she's also a GBV activist. It is 11:27 Central African Time.
Tech Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.